Timberwolves win by a measly 23 points at home against the Portland Trailblazers. I say a measly 23 points because the night before, it's back-to-back for Portland, they lost by 62 to the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are only a half game back from the one seed of us, the Minnesota Timberwolves, in the Western Conference. Although we just got out of the really tough stretch of our schedule where we played 16 straight games against teams above 500, and so we just finished that up, and then finally got this gift of playing Portland where we would take care of business, smack them in the math right away. I think it was 11-0 to start this game, and we were on top of it, led by 21 in the first quarter, and never really had a serious dip in that lead to where Portland came back, although the second quarter was a little shaky for portions. And you gotta not take advantage, or take for granted rather, the Wolves taking care of business against the bad teams, because just last season we struggled through it. And this Portland team, who was sitting like their entire normal roster and just playing with all backups late in the year, are the team that beat us in a game we needed to avoid the play-in tournament. And we lost that one. And it was inexplicable, and I lost my shit, and it was deserving. And just less than a season later, those problems are just about gone. This team is a lot more mature. We take care of business, and you kind of know what to expect night in and night out. And the consistency is so much better. We're a much more real, respectable basketball team. So we just have to look at that difference, even though it's easy to wipe it off. It's like this Portland team who's on a second night of back-to-back, long road trip, bad, missing talent, missing important players. Who cares? But hey, it's good that we took care of business and we got so many great highlights, mostly out of the big men. I feel like our bigs really dominate against the bad teams and just bully them. You saw that out of Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, and Naz Reid. Rudy Gobert was just a man amongst boys, getting putbacks, tons of O-boards, 17 rebounds in total in this one. Also thought that Anthony Edwards did a great job passing to him in the pick and roll, and used him more in pick and roll action than I feel like we normally see him. Actually looked like Mike Conley a lot of the times there with how many rescreens he got on a certain possession. Speaking of Mike Conley, he would have 10 assists and 0 turnovers in the first half, which hadn't been done since 2015 by Ricky Rubio. Hope he's enjoying retirement. Appreciate him. Also thought that Naz Reid had some wonderful plays in this one. I was talking to my grandma about how, like, people just are in love with this dude, especially in arena. And as I'm saying that sentence, he hits his, like, hook shot that goes into the sky, hits the top of the backboard with backspin and goes in. His circus shot, that was so exciting. Also, poster dunk out of Naz Reid, poster dunk out of Karl Anthony Towns. Timberwolves bench, new favorite Selly. It's just the point. Just let the dude know. My favorite person to see do that, for sure, is Slow-Mo, Kyle Anderson. He's just looking like the 8-year-old on the playground that's been trying to cast spells on people. Just the most stone-faced, serious. If they'd go into this again, which it seems like this is their new norm, look for Kyle Anderson because he will not disappoint, although he looks so disappointed through it. It's lovely. I'd say the one downer of this game to me was Jaden McDaniels. Not that it was a horrible showing out of him, but 4 turnovers, a couple of those coming in transition. It seemed like he had some awkward plays, didn't get a foul call, and just gave up, and then got also teed up early on in that game when we were up by 23. And it's just the things with Jaden where it's like, this guy needs to mature a little bit. I want Jaden to find his zen. May he find his peace, because if he does, he's just going to be so much more steady, and the consistency is the only thing lacking with Jane, because I think he's got all the talent in the world. I think his offense will come in time, and he's just an unreal defender. I mean, they just don't make him like that. Also, I didn't mention Karl Anthony Towns' night much. I said he had the poster, but I thought it was a really unselfish night from Cat. He made a lot of hustle plays, and I really appreciated how he played tonight. I've been a big critic of him through the season, but I also want to point out that I'm really impressed with how he's willing to mix up his defensive coverages and try different things. You see him out there hedging and pick and roll coverage a little bit more and just mixing things up. And so he has a lot asked of him on the defensive end, and I want to commend him for stepping up in a lot of ways. with that. But yeah, I mean that was just a great game we did. We were supposed to do lots of highlights, lots of garbage time that got real sloppy. I just don't even know if I need to comment on that. But all right, took care of business. Next game is going to be very different against the Los Angeles Clippers, who, boy, have they found it. Get ready for Zubats Harden spam pick and roll on 90% of the possessions. That's what I've been seeing when I've been watching the Clippers. But man, they're good. All right, good dub. Still in the 1 seed, but not a lot of breathing room.